All right. Looks like we are good to go. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Herb. Good morning, Heimer. Good morning, sir. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Very cold. So just looking at our gap scanner from this morning, doesn't look like our movers are that significant. Right? The biggest gapper is only 14%. We did have this one that did just make a pretty nice move not too long ago, though. KYTX. So this one pumped. It's 630. It's rolled over very hard. But it did pump very hard too, right? From 1077 all the way to 1467. All right, it's a $4 move. Completely rolled over. Then we actually broke lower. What was the news on this? So, therapeutics, so it was a biotech. Okay, so they just had mid-trial results, and I guess it didn't look too good. Daily was very interesting, though, the way this thing has been curling up. Good morning, Marcel. You shot yourself in the foot this morning. Impulsive buy and caught the flush. Now locked myself out of trading. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah, Ben, if you don't mind telling me, the main question I would have for you was, what was your sizing? Right? This is a higher price stock. Given this momentum, was this a lower float? All right, so we got 43 million here, 43 million. So Lightspeed and Thinkorswim are saying this is a higher float, 43 million. Yet we had this kind of range. Yeah. Max loss for the day. Yeah, so even if you weren't sure if this was a lower float, I mean, the shares outstanding is higher. But even if you weren't sure of that, given how this candle ranged $4 in 1 minute, that should have been a tip-off to take reduced size. Yeah, 10 shares. Given how much this stock has ranged in the first minute, I feel like 10 shares would either it would be something you would immediately need to bail on, or maybe 10 shares was just too high of exposure, given how much this moved. Terrible trade, no excuse. Yeah, that's how it goes. Like, it sounds like to me not necessarily a terrible trade, just overexposure, right? This should have been a single loss, like a max loss for an individual trade, but it should not have been a $10 loser. And to me, I would just say one thing, Ben. We were trying to monitor averaging down, but I suppose something else I should have maybe brought up, and you would be able to tell me the spec. What was it? BTTC?
RADX.
So when we looked at this one a few days ago, where you got in this nice move, we went from $3 up to 11. Now, the stock wasn't moving crazy fast, but it was moving pretty fast. What was your sizing like for this exactly? Because my thought is you had big swings on this one as well. You had, what was it? Was it 60 shares? Or no, that was like both ways. So you did like 30 shares each way. So I'm just trying to think. Your exposure was pretty high on this one too, and you got lucky. Yeah, so I think the issue, because you were trading higher share size, and you got lucky on this one. So maybe the fact that you oversized on the other one that you traded here. Yeah, now it's not even showing up on my thing anymore. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the fact you oversized on this should be the signal to say, hey, you got lucky and got bailed on BTTC despite taking increased size. You didn't get lucky this time. Right? You took the increased size again, and this time you got punished for it. Yes, but yes, okay, hold on. My sizing on BTTC was 5 shares, and then I added. Okay, all right. So I do. Oh wait, but yes, the loser was averaged down to 30 shares. Okay, so that changes things a lot. Let me ask you this. So for the 10 shares on this, was that your starting position? 10 shares. RADX up 130%. I'll take a look at that. But yeah, for KYTX, was 10 shares your initial position, or were you adding in?
RADX.
Sorry for like not jumping right away here. Just trying to read the situation. Good call out on RADX though. Yeah, so news. Looks like we had news at 7. Crazy move too. $5 to $10. So we're seeing very big range today. Stocks are moving several dollars. I'll let you get on with RADX. I did the dang thing to buy the dip. Okay, so you did average. Okay, you did average in. Got it. Yeah, I mean, maybe privately or some point later we can talk more about this. Yeah, definitely worth investigating, right? This is a habitual pattern by the looks of it. But all right, let's go ahead and for now, I'm just going to move on to the actual session here. RADX, obviously worth tracking. This thing's moving quite a lot. All right, so 7 million shares on Thinkorswim, much higher on Lightspeed, maybe a reverse split. So looking at the daily, this is actually a slower mover on the daily. So maybe this news is just very strong. Right, achieves primary endpoint with 92% of patients at interim. Okay. I mean, that's a high percent. So maybe that's just really, really good news. 8 million float? Yeah. Right. So we had high volume here. We're actually, even on this pullback, this is lower volume, right? These two candles are lower volume. Definitely sizing down here. Probably 1/8 size, just given that it's ranged $5. Yeah, this has a lot of range to it. Right, even on this small pullback, 180 down to 940. This does look good though on the pullback. Nice pullback forming, yeah. Very low volume on this pullback. Yeah, that was a clean pullback.
RADX.
I would have been buying really high though. That's the issue. But I mean, it resolved beautifully. Immediate $2 reversal. So buying even a slight pullback here showed promise. Wow, got 150. Yeah, nice. I mean, good stuff. This thing is clearly moving. Beautiful. Beautiful. Holy crap. A swing on this micro pullback from 940 to almost 15. Incredible range today.
AM EST.
And on key thing too is only on 300,000 volume, so there was tremendous buying pressure. Yeah, very crazy move. And this was all just off of a micro pullback. Well, not micro, but very small pullback. Yeah, even the 1 minute high on this flat top would have been a strong entry. Nice, now I gotta sit on the sidelines and watch. Oh, yeah, that's frustrating, man. I mean, it seems like we're having very, very big range today. At least so far, we've had two stocks. I'm a bit iffy because K by TX immediately failed. But this one does have a catalyst behind it that appears strong. And it seems like we're having good resolution. That one candle had almost a $5 swing. Yeah. I mean, logically, it would make sense to buy this pullback, but in good faith, I just can't pull the trigger. Like, even with 1/8 size, just this thing feels so extended. You even go to the 5 minute on this thing. Like, if I'm buying here, I just feel like I'm buying the top right now. I can't touch it. Up 300%. It's crazy. It looks like we're kind of chopping, churning a little bit up here. See how this resolves. Again, high volume on the resolution, low volume on the pullback. These micro pullbacks are just getting bought up like crazy. Spread is actually not super crazy. We're having like maybe a 30-cent spread. It's kind of bouncing, right? We're having anywhere from 10 cent to like 40-cent spread. It's ranging all over the place. Pick the wrong time to walk away from your PC. Maybe the right time. I mean, to be fair, like at any point now, this could be the top, and it could have been the right time to walk away. Even here, like buying this micro, this would have been more of a micro pullback. But even buying here, 1480 up to 20. It's literally just mooning. Yeah, no need to show off. Yeah. Didn't get in. Yeah. And I don't feel like I can get in. Amazing. So here's the problem now too. And we saw me experience this last week. The first time that I got in, like on, what was it?
KYTX.
It was the Chinese stock from last week. I got in on the first significant pullback. Like this would be more significant if we go back down to like 19. But at that point, the move is over. And if you look at the 5 minute, We've got a potential topping tail here. Yeah, this thing has so... Yeah, don't get FOMO. Yeah, I completely agree. Last week, it seemed like and it's not even FOMO. It's just...
KYTX.
By the time you're buying this pullback, this thing has already extended, like... Even on... we're still up 370% after dropping $7. That's insane. So, this has a huge range to pull back. Notably, though, this volume is pretty light. See if we get a couple more dollars of pullback. I might try it, just because this volume is super light here.
KYTX.
Volume is still very light. Can we get a bit more of a pullback?
IRBT.
All right, I'm gonna try it there. In at 19. Only 1/8 size though.
IRBT.
Okay, breaking out a little bit. Okay, took half off there. Still have 1/16 size.
RAD.
Alright, took the rest. Nice little recovery there. Yeah, so we had low volume on this pullback. Honestly, 1/8 size may have been too aggressive. Given how much this is ranging, this may have actually been... It might have been more appropriate to go 1/16 size, as crazy as that sounds. Our RADX locates are all gone, so can't get short on this. Yeah. But yeah, this thing is ranging like crazy. Even on this bounce here, we saw basically a $3.50 bounce. Nice trade. Yeah, my issue is that I'm so worried about this being the backside because this thing is so extended. The volume profile was there. This was a good setup. And it looks like I hit the top pretty well too. I sold it, the second half was at 21.79 and this went to 22.30. So I was about 60 cents off of the top, which actually isn't terrible. All right, we might have another chance here. The price is a bit lower, so maybe 1/8 size is better now. I did try to get filled there. Didn't get filled. My order was at 16.74. Definitely the backside. Could very well be. We already struggled here a little bit, so now I would much prefer we break down lower. Still quite low volume on this backside, though. Right? Yeah, it might just be backside. This would have been a good buy, but...
IRBT.
Sorry if I sound so pessimistic, by the way. I'm just really trying to judge it, and I know that this thing has huge potential to roll over. That's why I'm so careful right now. I'm basically imagining the worst case scenario and trying to posture myself so I don't do anything too crazy. Does not exist. Okay, why am I not able to open any of these? Oh, I took my flash drive out, that's why. Let's see if I can open it.
IRBT.
Okay, so one trade for me.
OPEN.
Yeah, this is curling nicely. Again, the volume is showing lower volume on the selling relative to this move up. So this doesn't look terrible.
IRBT.
Honestly, though, if I was going to get in, I wanted a more extreme move. And even though this is pretty extreme, $22 down to 15, I really would have wanted something like 14 for me to get in a second time. Another pump and dump? No, I definitely wouldn't call this a pump and dump. This is different than the other one. This one actually made a move, right? It held up this initial pop, and it actually rolled up significantly. I would not call this, regardless of how the stock plays, I wouldn't really classify it as a pump and dump at this point. There was clear opportunity to make money.
IRBT. MIST.
Just was doing this. Putting that in. Yeah, so this thing, even on these curls here, right? You had this 1 minute curl, made a 1 minute high, rolled over immediately.
MIST.
We had another 1 minute high. It appears to have rolled over immediately. So this seems to be punishing people buying on the backside. Not surprising, given how much this has moved. Yeah, even buying in the 14s now doesn't feel safe, right? We already had this first bounce here. We're too close to the bounce point.
MIST.
MIST is also moving now. Pretty good range, right? 3 to 370. Okay, it was pretty consolidated. Now it broke out on higher volume. Okay, so I guess this one just had unhalt status. Yeah. FDA approval. Or no, FDA approves their spray for supraventricular tachycardia episodes. Ah, yes, of course. I definitely know what that means. Okay, so we got biopharmaceuticals making moves today, it feels like. And maybe MIST has some momentum just because of RADX. You shorted GLSI and KYTX this morning.
MIST.
Took two quick wins with those. Not short anything right now. Yeah, shorting KYTX, I mean, it feels like free money. Some of these stocks right now. So AM EST had a pretty big
IRBT.
flush on Friday. $3 down to 160. Recovered most of it, then gaps up on news. Was there like an offering or something? Why did this drop midday here? Well, no, wait, this news catalyst is old. Or is this something different? Well, no, this catalyst came out. Why is this moving? So this news came out earlier. I mean, unless there was something different about it. Because it appears there was definitely news this morning about it coming out, and they came out of a hole. So logically, they must have announced something new in addition to it, because this catalyst for it came out yesterday, or not yesterday, Friday. So very strange to see this thing moving like this now. Not really sure what to make of it. Definitely keeping it on watch though. As for RADX, seeing a significant curl. Good morning, Dang. Good morning, Dangan. Yeah, so we did actually hold here pretty well. I didn't really trust this to hold. I thought we were going lower. But it's showing a little bit of strength here, holding here. Really need to see some kind of curl, though, to still stay in play. Right? We got the 5-minute candle set up, where we're breaking the 5-minute high. I don't think I trust this enough to touch it right now, but very curious to see how this one plays out. IST. Yeah, so like we popped and we just gave the whole thing back here. 370s down to 320s. It could be a case of shared momentum, right? Because RADX just moved, maybe people got overhyped on this and piled in.
GNTA.
And now it's just giving it back.
IRBT.
GNTA. GNTA is trying to do what MIST is doing. Another update from an ongoing study. A newly diagnosed... Dude, these words, man. From newly diagnosed GBM patients. Okay, so we've got another biotech news. A lot of biotech headlines. We had a pump of 20,000. Now we're pulling back. Looks like we got roughly 18 to 23 million shares outstanding. So we'll just say maybe 20 million. Looking at the daily looks god awful. This stock is heavily suppressed. Not very high conviction in this one. Yeah. The daily chart just looks too bad on it. I don't trust this. We did just see MIST get a bit of a pullback as well.
MIST.
Mist isn't, I mean, I shouldn't say Mist died either, because, like, it did gap up, and it's still holding the gap. So it's definitely, Mist wasn't a rug. It was just kind of weird that it pumped and then sold off most of its gains immediately after. But yeah, this doesn't really look like something I should touch, I think. Even a dead cat bounce. I don't know what would be safe, because this thing has just been in a downtrend this whole time. So even trying to buy a bounce, I don't really know what I would buy here. Just doesn't feel that great. Volume's also a bit low. I mean, it's high relative to the morning session, but I don't know. I just...
TLSA.
No, I think I should turn this one down. This one feels wrong. We had a bit of a curl here, but given how this thing just didn't really hold up well, I'm a bit iffy. This one's definitely not dead, but again, I'm not sure how much I trust it. We are at the half hour though, so maybe we'll get
TLSA.
something new. QIPT? Oh, okay, thank you. Check it out. Very good call out. You guys were on this thing. 260 to 350. Okay, so good move. I'm gonna size up a little bit. Don't need to be on 1/8 for this one, I think. Okay, so we do have news. Earnings, it looks like. Yeah, you called it out, earnings.
QIPT. TLSA.
Yeah, another biotech. Yeah, very interesting. Higher float, though. And honestly, this volume isn't that high either. For this kind of move on this kind of volume, or on this kind of float, feels a bit high.
TLSA.
So from 360s down to
MAST.
340. Yeah, this could be a topping tail. Gotta be careful getting in here.
IRBT.
When I say it feels like a topping tail, it is a topping tail. Rather, it just feels like it could roll over.
MASK. IRBT.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Skivan, if that's how you say it. Yeah, just staying patient here. This could totally curl and go higher, for sure. I'm just a bit worried because the float seems
MAST.
relatively high, and this moved a lot more than I would have expected on this kind of volume.
IRBT.
Okay, so revenue is slightly up, just looking at the earnings here. Net loss was 8 cents, 7 cents diluted.
MASK. IRBT.
Or no, wait. Okay, that was just quarter four.
MASK.
So just quarter four. was 7 cents diluted. Got it.
MASK.
Okay, so I mean, maybe that's an improvement depending on what the assessment was. Maybe if people were expecting them to lose 10 cents a share and they only lost 7, that is good. I don't really know the context of this though, so it's a bit hard for me to judge it. RADX, if we shift back to that, not really what you would want to see, right? This looked like it might have based out here and we could have seen a curl.
MASK.
But 3 times now, if you were buying the dip, so if you bought here, you got burned. If you bought here, you got burned. And I guess if you bought here, you could have got a partial recovery, but you didn't have much opportunity.
MASK.
KYTX, okay. So this one ended up rallying
MASK.
back up quite a bit. I don't trust it though. Like this already had this massive jackknife. Don't really trust it. RADX, pretty big sell-off here.
MASK.
Volume's not crazy high though.
IRBT.
Let's see if this does anything.
MASK.
Just jumping back to KIBT. This one is holding up pretty well here, right? This is based very well. Anybody who's bought in the dip so far is currently not underwater. Unless you like bought this spike. But I guess that's not the dip
IRBT.
now, is it?
MASK.
Yeah, still don't really trust it though.
MASK.
I'm a bit iffy on this. Yeah, Mask is a penny stock. Yes, sorry, I didn't call out Mask. I saw it. I have it on a side chart, but it's 50 cents. Not really that interested.
IRBT.
Oh, yeah, I do have it open. My apologies. Oh, that's right. So, I'll go ahead and mute that. Yeah, so when I was recording the recap session, I forgot to mute my desktop audio. Thank you for that. Yeah, I have them on a side as well. I have a couple different sources I'm looking at. I have Zendu as one of them. They're actually really good too, right? Very consistent with their scheduling. I compare them a lot of times with my own scanners. Usually it matches up, but it's more like Zendu has that extra length, right? Like, so with Mask, I won't normally look up penny stocks this cheap, but occasionally you'll see it where stock will be like 30 cents, but then it'll move to like $1.50, pretty like in a crazy move, and then I would be interested. So normally I won't search on them on my scanners, but I will still see them through Zendu and a couple other sources I look at. So it's a nice way to kind of cross balance a whole bunch of different scanners. That way you're not just using your own bias scanners. You have some range, some other inputs. Small stocks matter. Exactly. So you get it. If you guys think small stocks matter, you should hit the like button. Show that small stocks matter. It's very important. You were a bit confused because you closed it. Yeah. My apologies. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. You moved from Zendu to Arcane. Okay. I'll go ahead and make a note of that. Arcane. I'll check them out later. Definitely always looking for other news sources that are good to look into. Nice breakout on Mask, but again, I can't touch this one. It's too cheap. Yeah, even on this, like, you kind of had this bounce here, but it just didn't resolve. Another leg down. Yeah, I mean, this, we're clearly on the backside. Like, there's a chance, of course. There's always a chance it curls back. But this is very clearly the back half. Use it as well. Okay, maybe I should check it out. If multiple of you are using this arcane thing, I should definitely check it out then. I have never heard of it. Yeah, and unfortunately, other than RADX, and there's just nothing really moving at the moment. Like we had this one that moved, but it just kind of shot up and stabilized. Me, you as well. 3 of you use arcane. I see. Good to know. You found it last week. Okay. 4. Okay. Wow. I mean, yeah, okay, so if this is new, like you found it a week ago, how long have you guys been using it, if you don't mind me asking? Just curious, because it seems like, I mean, if you found it last week, market taker, maybe it's a newer platform or a newer source for us to look into. Guess while we're waiting, I can go ahead and Google it real quick. Arcane Monitor, is that it? Momentum Market Scanner. You don't use anything, you roll dog it. You're crazy, man. I mean, to be fair, I don't use any indicators, right? Like, my charts probably look pretty naked to a lot of you guys, right? Not seeing any moving averages, no VWAP, no MACD, just volume and price. Okay, so that's it. All right. Take a look at them. Okay, so yeah, they show a mask. Okay, so this one looks more like just a volatility tracker. Wow, okay. Wow, this looks pretty good. Like, I mean, so IRBT was one on there. Yeah, and you're seeing a recovery here. Maybe I'll try it out. I'll look at it today. Go ahead and just save this page. All right, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll use it tomorrow. So much info, need to figure everything out still. Yeah. Yeah, that's why, I mean, even for me, that's kind of why I said I want to wait. I'll look at it today, but I just don't want to do it live on stream because, like, I've already got kind of with Zendu, like the whole process with looking at them. And I feel like just trying to integrate on the fly is probably not a great idea. So, yeah, I'll look at it today. If I like what it looks like, I mean, it looks cool. Like, I even just like their way of announcing things. If I like it, I'll try it tomorrow. See if it. Maybe a good test actually would be to use them side by side. So, see what Zendu shows and see what they show, and see if I feel any crossover there. It's a YouTube channel like Zendu, but catered to small caps. And you get audio alerts if something has news. Let's see. Yeah, even just with some of the audio notifications I was hearing, it feels a lot more modern, right? Zendu's very kind of robotic, which is fine. Yeah, so we're up to 60 people. Appreciate you guys that are here. And we had this nice move on RADX, but at this point, like, we're just kind of waiting, because, or at least I'm waiting. So I just don't really see anything else really in play. Like, this is kind of grinding up slowly. Even this, right? This is kind of just like a slow grind up. You trade side by side. Arcane was the winner. Or you tried side by side. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I'll give you guys a more thorough assessment tomorrow. Well, that's cool though. Glad to see that there's... Just curious, how long have they been out for? I'm gonna check out their channel. I just want to see how long they've been here for. Join date, March 23rd, 2025. So this is a newer channel. Okay, yeah, so like 1.7k subs, but newer channel. QIPT was a buyout. Oh, okay. What was the buyout price? Because I didn't see anything news. Yeah, just looking at the highlights, I don't see anything about a buyout. Okay, never mind. Like, I literally just said that. Okay. Yeah, they just put out a statement 8 minutes ago. So right around here, they put out a statement. Entered in a definitive agreement, $3.65 a share. Got it. Okay. Yep, you're right. That's why I gapped. Maybe... Yeah, I mean, someone must have got the news sooner. I have the news here now, but that did not happen at that moment. So I only got this move, or this notification, 8 minutes after. Yep, 365. Exactly. Yeah, so this one's just out of play. It's not coming back. Mask rolling over here. Could be the backside. I'm curious how RadX plays out, but I've lost conviction in this one already. I don't really want to touch it unless if we see crazy volume returning, I'd be more interested again. Right, but this volume totally non-existent compared to this volume. Clearly someone buying here on the squeeze up, maybe shorts covering. Maybe people just getting long because the news was actually good. Hard to say. But for whatever reason, whoever was buying here is not buying here. Raw spot made 72K. It's crazy. Like, I was wanting to even get in on this front side, but it's just, when the stock moves $5 and pulls back 30 cents, you can't buy that and call it a micro pullback because you're just chasing the top. It just so happens that the top for this one kept going. Like it went from like $10.60. New top was $15. New top was 17. New top was 19. Like with these ones, like the only real opportunities, like you had a micro pullback here. You had a pullback here as well. But these are such tiny pullbacks in the grand scheme of the move. I almost feel like I'd be chasing if I bought something like that. Like you guys were, I mean, for those of you that were here when I was trading it, you saw me. I had it pulled up. I had my reduced size and I was just watching for a pullback, watching. He trades the 10-second chart for those micro pullbacks. Yeah. I mean, I respect it and just the confidence to go long in those kind of situations, but it's just, Yeah, but the thing is, there was no selling volume, so it is much safer than you think. And yeah, to be fair, right? When I was watching this one pullback here, this candle at the time had extremely light volume. And I did call it out. I said how we were seeing reduced volume on this pullback. And it looked good. But just the fact that it was holding up so high, in my head, I'm just thinking this has to pull back a little bit more first, surely. Right? It just went up 50 or 100%. So to see this just give this micro pullback here into this insane like $5 squeeze. But you are right. There was very low selling on this move up. All of these pullbacks had extremely low selling. Yeah, confidence is one thing. I mean, if he made 72K, he must have had at least decent exposure to this. Well, we already know what the title for Ross's video is going to be. He makes 80% of his money off those kind of moves. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this thing ended up kind of like showing life and then just, again, rolling over. You only use the 9 EMA and VWAP on 1 minute. And when it pullbacks, taps those high momentum, taps those on high momentum, it's a buy for me. Level 2 has to line as well. Yeah. $20 is cool too. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy, right? Almost $20 from one trade, and it was a really solid hit. I'm definitely happy with how it played out. But yeah, in hindsight, I actually think I slightly oversized. This was somewhere between a 1/8 size and a 1/16 size trade. I chose 1/8, and it felt like I was a little bit overexposed with 1/8 size. Because yeah, if this had gone against me, it would have probably been like a $30 loser. You're happy with $20? I mean, I'm happy with anything that isn't red, if I'm being honest. But yeah, slightly overexposed on this, but it wasn't terrible. How many do I normally trade with? So normally it's 100 for this account. And so yeah, 1/8 size, right? You just figure half is 50, quarter is 25. 1/8 should be 12.5. I just round it down to 12. So I was trading with only 12 shares, and I can actually pull this up and show this real quick. So you can see here, this is my orders that I took. I'm hiding them for the stream at the moment, but yeah. So entered with 12 shares, sold half, then sold the other half to close. But yeah, it's very small size. The fact I can make 20 bucks on just 12 shares is crazy though. It's over $1 per share. Thank you. No, you're no problem, man. It's dead right now. There's nothing to do. We're just kind of waiting, so no harm, no foul. Hopefully we get some news at the top of hour here. What is my transaction fee? So Lightspeed, it's I'm using per share. Essentially, you could just look at it as if you buy and sell 100 shares, you're paying 70 cents. Right? Or is that right? Yeah, 70 cents. Or 25 cents, whichever is greater. So basically, I paid about roughly 50 cents commission on that. Nothing too crazy. Right, and that's both ways, right? 25 one way, 25 the other. This is seeming to base out here, but again, I don't really trust it, but I'm curious to see how it acts here. Is this level actually going to hold a support, or are we going to see some kind of move from it? Thought you were out of a position for a winner. Order was rejected, and I didn't realize. Came back, and the position was open for a $16 loss. Oh, I hate to see that. Yeah, I haven't really had that happen in a while. Funny story. Back when I traded options, there was this Tesla option I had. It was like 3 days till expiration, and I was day trading it. So I bought multiple contracts and I sold them. And then I woke up the following morning and saw that I still had one contract left of it. And these were like $800 contracts. So my heart like sank. And then I saw that Tesla gapped up like 10%. And I made like, I don't know, it was like $300 or $400. So yeah, I've had it happen once where I took a day trade and held it overnight. Got lucky, for sure. It sucked too because I saw it pre-market, so I couldn't sell. So I'm just like biting my teeth, waiting for market open to come so that I can just insta-sell the contract. Crazy thing is, after I sold, it ended up moving like another 5% that day. So... yeah, Tesla was a crazy mover back in the day. I don't know if it still does move a lot. But yeah, I haven't done that in a while. That was years ago. I don't actually know the last time I had a position that I just wasn't aware of. Or rather, a position that I knew I had and just didn't close it. KYTX, just to touch on this one again real quick. After doing this weird recovery, it's just kind of gone sideways. But yeah, we're at the top of the hour here. Keep our eyes peeled. See if anything comes up for news. Quick shout out, since I see we have 61 people here. If you're not already subscribed, I do stream every morning session. So if you like what you see here, I would humbly ask you to subscribe. This is a smaller account, trying to grow it, and I would appreciate it. But no pressure. Good morning. How much is the minimum cash to open an account on Lightspeed? I think it's $3,000. Don't quote me to that. I think it's around 3,000. It might be 2,000. Thanks, no problem, man. Hope it helps. Yeah, honestly though, I'm a bit iffy about it. Like, we'll see. I've still got quite some time left for this challenge, but yeah, using a paid broker for this kind of thing feels like it's very difficult for a cash account, right? The commissions have definitely eaten into my profits significantly compared to free brokerages, which is what I normally trade with for these kind of things. So I'm very curious to see how much the profits actually get eaten up by the end of this. It's going to be a very good self-assessment kind of thing. I might do it at around the 50-day mark just to give like a halfway point check. But yeah, I'm like iffy if this is even really worth, because a lot of the money I'm saving from execution speed feels like it's just getting eaten up. You may have already stated, but what paid brokerage are you using? No problem, man. So I have two brokers open here on the screen. The one with the charting. This is Thinkorswim. It's a free broker owned by Charles Schwab. On the left here, I am using for my executions Lightspeed. It is a paid commission broker. Not affiliated with either, of course. But yeah, I'm using a mix of the two right now. Lightspeed for executions, Thinkorswim for data. Yeah, we really have nothing at the top of the hour. There's just nothing. VOR? Okay, I'll check it out. I don't see this one. Yeah, lighter volume. Lower flow. Actually, if memory recalls, didn't this move? Okay, 21 million on Thinkorswim. Didn't this move, like, somewhat recently? Yeah. I recognize the name. So this did move a good bit, right? $8 to 14. So this did move, and we are, like, kind of stair-stepping up here. Is the speed of Lightspeed very noticeable on execution? It is instant. It is instant execution. It is extremely fast. That's right. There's two reasons to use Lightspeed. One is they have really good level 2. The other one is execution, right? Not just execution speed, but also their hotkeys are insanely thorough, right? If I just showed this here. So these are all hotkeys you can custom make, right? You have a whole bunch of different settings you can put for them. You can map it, so you can choose any key you want to map it to. They're extremely fluid with their hotkeys. Yeah, VOR looks kind of interesting. I do like it on the context of the daily chart, but unfortunately, the volume's just a bit light on this thing. It does have news. 150 million private placement. Okay, so this isn't good though. Announced it entered a agreement for 13 million shares at 1081, right? Which is significantly below the current price. So whoever they just sold to would be inclined to dump here. I do see what you mean though on the daily. Yeah, we do have a very big gap that could be filled. No, you're good, man. I guess it really depends on the intent of the person to sell here, right? We're way above what they just got the shares for, so if they wanted to, they could just turn around and start dumping right now. Alternatively, they could just hold. What does this look like on the 3-year? Yeah, 3-year starts to paint a much worse picture. Yeah, this stock is really struggling. We did have this huge breakout. I don't actually recall this stock, but I guess back in June it had a pretty huge move. Right, $5 up to 60. Over a 10x hit. Float's a bit higher on it though. ARBB's coming up on my Momo scanner. No news, but it has volume. Very low float, only 1 million. So this is a stock that's a low floater, no news. This is a Malaysia company. Actually, wait, did this do something shady? I feel like this stock did something at some point recently. Maybe, okay, maybe I must just be mistaken. Maybe I'm thinking of another stock. But yeah, looks like we've kind of based out here. a lot of random spikes on the daily, like very big spikes up and then sells off. Yeah, even on this, right, we just kind of popped up basically like $2 and now we're just selling off. The lack of news makes it a little bit more dangerous to buy too. The only thing that's like a saving grace for this is that it's a super low float. It's the only reason I'm really interested in it. Yeah, but you have high volume on this. It doesn't look safe. Someone just mentioned your stream on Arcane. Was it you, Market Taker? Okay, this is selling off pretty hard. I'm a bit iffy to get in on it just because it's a lower float, so this has potential to move a good bit more. Let me just preemptively reduce size. Okay, I'm at 1/4, good. So we actually moved up here after hours. Yeah, after hours Friday, we had some volume as this moved up. But it's basically nothing compared to where we are now. No, people should, but you will. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's cool, though. You did? Okay. I appreciate it if you did. Yeah, so you could have bought here. Could have got like a 30-cent bounce. Bit afraid to, though, just because these two candles were higher volume. We are gapped up on the intraday, so there's significant risk to buying here. Also, the fact this thing rolled over immediately and there's no news or anything about it could be potential for manipulation. You're not liking Arcane as much as Zendu. You feel they're a bit exaggerated with their "this stock is squeezing" statements. Okay. Now I'm interested to try them out, you know? Yeah, I mean, you had this bounce 30 cents and then it gave it back. Low volume on the pullback here. And I guess the fact that this bounced shows that there's opportunity. 8-cent spread. Very thin though, right? We're looking at 100 by 100 in the bid and ask, so very thin. Yeah, if this pulls back more, maybe I'd be interested. Probably like 760s. It looks good. You've got some kind of base around here. Buy a little bit above the $50. Yeah, it's got a ways to go, right? We're at 840s. Like, it's got to drop $1 for it to really be in play for me. They stated on two stocks that they were squeezing. One was a 1 candle pump and dump. Second was a minimal run, like 10%. Yeah. A 1 minute candle pump and dump. It's squeezing, guys. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like squeezing, you could look at this stock, right? And you could say this was a squeeze too, right? This is roughly a 10% move, $9 to $10. So this is a 10% move, 1 minute candle, pump and dump. But I would still classify this as like potentially squeezing, right? You clearly broke out of this range, higher volume, significant move. Someone should mention you. No. That's probably not a good idea. No, don't do that. Honestly, I don't think I should ever like really be asking you guys to go to other streams and stuff and like shout. That's okay. Okay, we're getting ridiculous here. Let's move on. We're not doing this. No, this is probably not a good idea. ARBB is one that called out for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Right? You had a clear volume spike, clear movement, so makes sense. The thing is that a lot of these bots can't tell what we intuitively know is moving. HYPR. No, I know you're just kidding. I'm just saying it's just, yeah, it's, I know. You talk about me on all the OnlyFans models. There you go. Now you're getting it. That's right. Mention the trading captain sent you. Yeah, so this is squeezing. Okay, announced FDA clearance. Good news. Higher float. Yeah, so higher float, lower price. Strong catalyst, though. The only reason I'm a little bit interested is just because the catalyst is good on this. Problem is, I don't know if this is going to range, even if I buy. Yeah, I don't think I can buy this. If this was a lower float, then I'd be more interested. Float's just too high. Volume isn't quite there. I feel like at most this goes to like 25. The bid is pretty stacked though, actually. I'm looking at this, at the level 2 here. You had a big order get hit at around 114. It soaked it, and then another 30,000 shares stepped up. Just can't get in your groove today. Gotta wake up too early. Or got up way too early. Getting out before I get red. Good luck. Stay green. We will see. I mean, $20 is a pretty big cushion. Right? That's a solid hit. With us only having about 40 minutes left, odds I go red are somewhat low. But yeah, this one, like, the float's just too high on it. The catalyst is good, but there's not enough volume to compensate for the higher float. We can't be having 200,000 volume. We need to be having like 400,000 or 500,000. Yeah, unfortunately for me, the best stock in play, or closest to in play, is ARBB, and it's just not really there. Right, it's still got too much work to do yet. It's got like another 60 cents. Yeah, this stock looks like it's rolled over. Like I said, the catalyst looked good, but the volume just wasn't there and the float was too high. Too many red flags. I'm really surprised too. After seeing this move, I thought today was going to be a hot day. I didn't expect that I would have only taken one trade so far. But I mean, just none of the other setups really were that good. All right, AM EST just kind of pulled back. This was a buyout. This one was a pump and dump. This one might be a pump and dump. Yeah, so there's not a lot of great opportunity so far. We just haven't had anything resolve well. Even this one, I didn't trade this one, but this one was also a pump and dump. All right, just spiked up, sold off completely. Yeah, this looks like a sit tight and wait for 8 hour, or the half-hour mark. See if we get anything better. A bit disappointing considering how good the start was. I'll go ahead and throw a poll out here while we're waiting. HYPR was squeezing, according to Arcane. I mean, it really just depends on, like, what they're indicating. Maybe I could even watch them side by side. Just see, like, what does Arcane show versus what does Zendu show versus what does my scanner show. Sorry, took a loss on it and I'm petty. Yeah, I mean, it was a little tempting to get in it, right? News Catalyst looked strong. There was a buyer around here that looked like it was getting bought up. There was like a 20, well, what did I say, 10, 20,000 share buyer. It got bought up and then another 30,000 appeared. But yeah, just, I would have been more inclined if the float was lower. Or, I mean, yeah, ideally if the float was lower, or secondary if we had better volume. No trades equals yes or no. I don't know. Like, maybe I should have put no trade. The fact that I only traded once, maybe I should have. No, we're gonna fix that. Hold on. We're ending the poll. No, you're right. Considering today's slower, we're making a new poll. All right. Normally I wouldn't really put that, but considering this is such a slow day. All right, new poll. No trades. Wow, a lot of no trades. Okay. Yeah, you know, why am I surprised? I took one trade today. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. BNKK recent reverse with news, but dump. I didn't even see this one on my scanner. Yeah, so 5 million after. Oh, is this a new stock? This one came out not too long ago. Maybe it was a merger or something. I don't have Ross on demand, so someone else would have to tell you that. Yeah, a lot of no trade days. Split on 11. Yeah. Yeah, you see it on Arcane. Okay, I mean, so you probably got it just in time to see it saying squeeze, so you got stuck in the dump. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. This chart, I mean, it's gone straight down. If it had a reverse split this early, it's likely a merger of some kind that has just been free fall, so I would be very hesitant to trust this. Does have news though. Ross still up 72K? Okay. Yeah, RATX is still slowly curling, right? We actually, after this breakdown, we've been curling for about half an hour now. Volume has actually picked up a bit too, right? The volume was mostly dead here. Seeing the volume pick up here is significant. Hi, is this future or Forex? Neither. This is small cap. Small cap stocks. Little baby stocks with tiny floats. That's what this is. U.S. equities. Billion float though. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it could be. Like, if you zoom out here, this hasn't actually retraced more than 50%, right? This is holding 50% of the move. So, like, if this does end up holding, there is a reasonable expectation that you could return to high. Like, I would say it's a double-digit % chance you return to high here. I give it maybe like a 20% chance you go back up. But it's not zero, right? It's held. The question is it going to roll over here? Because we are hitting resistance. The only thing that's really giving me hope is that the volume's increased, right? We're seeing a return in volume. AMCI and BDRX both have made small moves. I might have traded since 5. Since 5, dude. Yeah, it feels like just a lot of things, other than RADX, it feels like nothing's really moving substantially. Or if things are moving, they're immediately rolling over. Thoughts on YCBD? I saw it. I can look at it again. I don't remember what this one was. Yeah, this one's a bit cheaper. Float's okay. I mean, we are holding, right, this move. So it is certainly interesting. The one thing I will note is that even on these squeezes, they're not like crazy big moves. The moves are taking like this is the 5-minute chart. I actually need to switch here. But yeah, even on this, like a move from 154 to 165 takes like 10 minutes to go through. It's just a bit of a slower mover. Volume is solid and it's definitely holding its move. So if you're someone that would be willing to hold a longer period, maybe like 10, 20 minutes, this feels more correct. For someone like me that ideally doesn't want to be holding more than a few minutes, not really what I'd want to see. If this was moving faster, I'd be more interested. It's just moving a bit slow. Right, even on this huge pullback from 160s to 140s, that took place over the course of 2 hours. Just a slow mover. You think people will be interested at people will be interested at this at market open? Absolutely, right? Especially if you hold here, it's go time at market open. You know, people are going to be hammering this in both directions at market open. If we're holding around here, no doubt people were short up here. Right, just looking at the daily, we're way above the daily. I mean, you look at the daily chart, this thing is gapped up to here. So, insane gap up. But yeah, I think I'm slightly bullish on it. Just slightly because of the volume again. Well, on the flip side, though, this high volume didn't really come in down here. It would have been better, I think, if the volume came in down here and just continued through this whole move. The fact you only saw the higher volume at the top of this move up. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm overly optimistic. KYTX again. Oh, you're right. Okay, so yeah, this is squeezing very, very high volume as well. This volume's way higher than all of this. Gotta be careful, though. This is rugged this morning. It's actually rugged twice, really. Notably, this move's actually more healthy, too. Right, this one just went straight up in a minute. This one has gone up a bit slower on higher volume. Bit unusual. I'm also getting a ping from this. Okay, just a false read. Okay, so high volume on the green candle, pretty high volume candle on this churn. Curious to see what the volume profile looks like and what this candle closes at. It is bullish to see that this volume is higher than this move. This does feel bullish to me. I'm just afraid it's going to trap me if I get in because of how it resolved earlier. IMG, you're totally right about that as well. They do have news as well. Announced a new contract. Contract's good. Increase size to half size. Volume, solid volume. Unfortunately, this could be on red, so that's not ideal. But if this is just a pullback and next candle's higher, this is acceptable. A move from 170 to 260 is a pretty big move right out of the gate, though. Daily chart looks horrendous, very beaten up. You got resistance around 280s. It's not terribly far off, but you could probably get range 280. So we popped up to just under 280. Good resolution on this, by the way. 220 straight up to basically the resistance. And what I said did come true. I said this candle would be fine if we had a breakout on higher volume. We did get that. But immediate rejection off of this 280. Volume is continuing to increase here. This is quite high volume. Looking at the daily, maybe 230s, 220s would be support. Nah, is Chinese F. Nope. Yeah. It's very beaten up on the daily. There's room. This bounce seems a little bit justified. But yeah, if this is, I want to confirm this is Chinese. IMG. Yeah, Hong Kong. Okay. You say huge float. I'm seeing 16 million, 15 million. Unless I'm missing something. Spread's also somewhat thin. In fact, this is a Chinese. Well, okay, so we did have news though. Signs $106 million computing power contract. Like, this wasn't just a random pump. This actually had news backing it. There's a hidden seller. This broke through 32 and went to 34. There was a hidden seller. Yeah, huge is relative. I don't think 18 million's that high. So on this backside, we're still seeing very high volume. It is slightly reduced, but it basically looks like the same volume as the front side. Which is actually technically worse, because these moves are lower, but higher volume. These volume bars are higher, but same volume. So I'd actually give a slight bias to bearish here. Just purely on distribution. We'll see if that ends up playing out or if I'm just wrong. But yeah, I think I need to see this pull back on lighter volume for me to be interested. Right, if we pull back to like, what would even be a good support? I mean, you could do like 210, I guess. No, that's too close. I can't do that. I guess 190s. See, if you broke down to 190s. Yeah, maybe 190s. On low volume. Yeah, I don't trust this setup here. KYTX also ended up rolling over. It's kind of rallying back a bit now, but it had a pretty nasty rejection here. 1250 to 1170. So 80-cent drop. Okay. Impressive move. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it. I thought this was just going to roll over. So I was wrong here. It's important to admit when you're wrong, too. You know? I saw that there was a hidden seller here. Chinese stock. I had ruled it off. That was the incorrect call. Very high volume. 750,000 is significant. Got a lot of fake outs in both directions here. Fake breakdown, fake breakout. A lot of fake outs. Continuing to see this increased volume here. Significant volume here. It's only half, but we're only halfway through the minute, so we're on pace to have the highest volume candle. And it's starting red. Okay, volume dried up the second half. Yeah, I'm genuinely unsure. Yeah, this 280 resistance, this area, is definitely proving problematic, right? We've went up and tapped it once, tapped it twice. So daily resistance is really playing a part here. But on the same token, I mean, we had high volume pushing this second leg. Okay, so we broke by like 2 cents. Immediately reversed. On high volume. Ooh, huge seller on the level 2. Huge seller. They're still there. Yeah. Yeah, there was around a 100, 200,000 share seller pushing this down from 260 to 250. They had an order at 240 and then they pulled it, but they were still there. Dude, Chinese stocks, man. This thing breaks by 2 cents into a flush. Yeah. I mean, I don't see their order on the level 2 now, but I just don't know if I trust it. Right? We got clearly very high volume on this push down. I feel like buying a bounce here is asking if they're just not going to dump anymore. Although this is on lower volume. Probably not enough yet, but getting there. Someone is pushing down the order on the level 2. The ask is very light. There was basically very little pressure on the ask on this whole way down, but it was stair-stepping down. I think there's still someone selling. Volume is still quite high. So this went from 280s down to 220. Unclear if the seller's still there. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes. This is brutal. And I don't even feel safe buying this. We are at support right now. This volume has decreased slightly. There could maybe be an argument to buy right here. I just don't know if I trust it, though. Knowing someone pushed that hard down. Yeah. A bit of consolidation here. Still don't trust it. This volume is continuing to be quite elevated, around 500,000 a minute. Oh, man. The Chinese special. Yeah, we got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. We'll see if anything comes up on the top of the hour. Realistically, I probably shouldn't touch this. Just knowing, I mean, I've seen clear evidence. I was watching this the way down. There was a huge seller visible at around 260 to 240. The seller became invisible after that, but there was still clearly somebody laddering the level 2 down. So now it's just a hidden order. Yeah, I think I just need to avoid this one. Unfortunate. One real quick shout out before we hit the end of the stream here. Coming up to the end. If you like what you saw here, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, follow me on the journey. I know today wasn't super impactful, just one trade today, but just honestly nothing was really working. There's no beating around the bush with that. It was a rough day. We had a lot of stocks that just really weren't doing much, like MIST ended up selling off. Yeah, this one did end up selling off as well. See, this was a higher float. This one just, we had a pop and drop. KTYX, very weird price action in this one. I don't actually know how to rate this one. This is extremely weird how this stock has done. Right? You popped on super light volume, had a massive flush, sell off again, grind up all the way to here on low volume. Like, highest volume of the day for this. And it doesn't move nearly as much. Very, very weird. BDRX. I don't have that one listed here. Ooh, wow, you're right. Yeah. Just a rough day overall, honestly. Like, most of you haven't taken a trade today based on the polling. And I only took one. So, yeah. What a way to start the week, right? I'm green, though. I should be happy for that. The only stock that had any real potential was the one I traded. This stock is still holding. I'm very curious to see how this stock performs today. All right, it's looking like we might go into open with it holding at around 14 or 13. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Yeah, flip-flop, grace us with your shorting beauty. Show us all the money you made from shorting. Wow, we just all sat here and did nothing for 2 hours. Maybe I should try an account with just like 1,000. Oh. Something interesting that I could maybe try would be like a small account with $1,000 just to try out shorting stocks and holding them for longer periods. I say only $1,000 because I don't want to get margin called and lose like 20,000. So, yeah. But it really feels like it's been difficult to play the long side of this. That'll be like a separate thing, though. I mean, I'm committed to this challenge right now, so that is my commitment for at least the next 50 days. Just another video series idea. Looks like a bit of lag on my end, getting a bit of a frame drop. Well, it's basically the end of the stream anyway. Alright, I'll see if there's anything else before I jump here. IMG did end up breaking too. Yeah, guys, check out the Discord. I do have it. I haven't been promoting that at like all. I do have a Discord. It's in the description of this live stream. I think I might need to update the link soon. It might die soon. But yeah, there is a Discord. is linked in the description of this stream. Check it out if you're interested. And nothing showing up at the scanners right now. Yeah, actually, honestly, considering how aggressive the selling was, I'm actually going to note it. I want to see how this resolves tomorrow. I anticipate, given that the seller was this aggressively selling, and given that they had this specific chart pattern that failed by a few pennies, I'm curious how much this sells off. Right? There was clearly someone with several 100,000 shares dumping here, at least. And we've basically returned to the breakout price. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how this resolves over the next 24 hours. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I'm not seeing anything on the scanners. 9 o'clock looks like a dud. So yeah, results for the day. Just one trade. Very, very slow day. Nice hit on it though. Go ahead and show my trades here. So you can see here, only one trade, 1/8 size. Very conservative given how much it was moving. Even 1/8 size might have been a little bit overexposed. But yeah, not much today. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to head out here.